Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of the Single Dad's Cookbook. Today we're going to be making
chili cheese bites and a roasted tomato sauce. So for this you're going to need some leftover mashed potatoes. I've got about 400 grams here. You're going to need some coriander, some cheese, whatever cheese you prefer. I've got red Leicester. I've got 4 tomatoes, a chilli, an onion, and I've got 5 cloves of garlic, salt, pepper, and some mixed herbs. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you in real time how easy it is to make a tomato sauce from scratch. Okay, so in a roasting tray, I'm just cutting up the tomatoes in half, and I'm putting the open face side, if you will, up. That way when we put the other bits and pieces in, they will absorb the flavours. I'm just crushing the garlic and I'm just throwing that in. While I'm doing that, I want you to just to thank everybody who's joined the channel. I want to say the comments in a whole have been brilliant. I do take on board the criticism and try to alter some bits and pieces, but if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, some just plain old home style cooking, nothing too extravagant, no fancy equipment, just what normal people have in their kitchen, then please think about subscribing. So as you can see here now, I'm just slicing the onions. So that's just sliced across, and again I'm just throwing them in. And then once I've done that, I'm going to just put some salt and pepper across the top of it, and a little bit of mixed herbs. Now from here, excuse me, if you want to, you can add some chili flakes if you wanted to. You could tweak it to your tastes. If you like it spicy, add something in. If you don't. Whatever you want. This is just the base level. I will tell you though that once these were made, they were gone, and it's quite weird, but you want to let them cool. Not till they're cold, but just let them cool, so that it forms up. I'll explain a little bit later. So they've gone into the oven. The oven's a 180 fan, that's Celsius, and it literally is only going to be for 10 minutes. So now what I've got is I've got the chili that I'm going to use. I've just got a jalapeno. Again, if you want it spicier, use a different chili. The cooking's all about just what you've got in the house. So I've just cut through it, and then I'm just nice and easy rocking the knife back and forward to get little bits of chili. Then I am just removing the edge, get everything in there, and put that into the mash. So that's that done. I was going to use the coriander, but then I realised that that's actually for the tomato sauce. So next bit we're going to do is we're going to get the cheese, and we're going to grate that. Now with this, if you think you've done enough cheese, do some more. Okay, I've got probably a good cup of cheese there, and I'm adding it in. It looks loads, but once it all breaks down and once it melts and once it gets in a mix, this was just the right amount. Okay, so I'm mixing all that, because now what we want to create is we want to create almost like a dough. So for that we're going to have to add in some flour. Now whenever I've done this in the past, I have added in not enough flour and they've broke up. So the key to it is add your flour in, and I start off with 3 big heap spoons of flour. Start to work it. It'll separate, and this is just plain flour, nothing fancy. It'll start to separate, then it will come together. As soon as you can handle it without it sticking to you, that's when you know it's ready. So first of all, I start with the spoon, and you can see it looks like starting to crumble, and it's like, oh God, what have I done? But you just keep working it, okay? Get your hands in, and you can see as I'm pressing it, I'm not going to say that I'm treating it like bread, but I am starting to work that the dough. Then what I will do eventually is I'll bring it out. I will bring it out, and if I need to, I'll add more flour until I get the consistency I want. And like I say, that consistency is one where it's like bread, and you can work it and it's not sticking to anything anymore, and you can fold it and it all comes back together like that. So put that to the side. So you can see there I've got a little bowl. I've given everything a bit of clean up as well. Now I've got my little food processor, my little blender, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the bits that have been roasted in the oven into the blender. Now I've only got a tiny little blender, so what I actually did is put half of it in, blended it up so it started to reduce it, then put the rest in, and then just go through that, and you'll see me do that. So I'm just putting that in there. And while I'm doing that, again, I just want to say thanks very much. If you're enjoying the video, if you think about liking, commenting and subscribing, it would be much appreciated. So I've got my little blender, I'm giving it a mix, then I'm giving it a shake just to make sure that all the little bits and pieces come up. So I've got it as a pulp, giving it a bit of a taste. Doesn't need any salt, doesn't need any pepper. It did. So again, you're just seasoning it to your palate. Or your family's palate, you know what they'll like. Then I'm going to put in the coriander, stalks and all, get it all in. Then at this moment, as it's overflowing, this is the perfect time to struggle with the lid. So yep, there you go. As by clockwork. Finally figure it out, give it another pulse. At this stage now, I've kept it rustic just to make, again, my life easier, so I've left it quite chunky. You can pass it through a sieve. Just make sure that you work that properly. It's just an extra bit of cleaning up that you don't have to do. Sauce is done. Beautiful. Now, top tip. If you're dealing with anything in its raw state, so in this case, the chili cheese bites, if you've got something like, I don't know, you're making meatballs, or you're making something that's, like I say, a raw state, but you're going to cook it, you can't taste it at this stage. So what, top tip, take a little bit of it and cook it, so that you're cooking it just the one. That way, once it's ready, and whether it be a meatball, whether it be, in this case, the chili cheese bite, you can taste for seasoning. So that's a bit of a top tip there from Single Dad's Cookbook. And you can see there on the outside, it's become absolutely golden, and you just want to resume that cooking process until it's done. So here's the first one, crispy on the outside, soft and gooey in the middle, and all we want to do now is check for seasoning. So we let that cook through, and then we take it out. The seasoning was spot on, which is quite lucky for my liking. So we're going to cook the rest of them, pop them in. I've got 6. I have loads left. That dough will make 15 of these, depending on the size of them. So cooking them up, that's them done. Now to plate up, and you can see them there. Guys, I hope you're looking after yourselves out there, okay, and each other. The world's a bit topsy-turvy at the minute. And this is another little video that I hope you try when you get a chance. From my family to yours, till the next time, thanks very much for watching. Single Dad, signing off.